Commissioner Flicker,
Here.
Commissioner Britton,
Here.
Commissioner Chapman,
Here.
Commissioner Sears, Commissioner Jenkins,
Here.
Chairperson Durling. Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there anyone here that wants to do that? Seeing none?
Mr. Chairperson, I have not received any written communication on this item. I have not received any written communication on this item.
Okay. I'll open the public hearing for item number 1, minor use permit 2008 for renovation of former Las Esmeralda. Staff?
Thank you, commissioners and assembled public. This project involves converting an existing 4,400 square foot former market building into a drive-through restaurant with the kitchen and seating area and available for catering. The applicant, Mark Mendez, is here tonight for a short presentation and for questions. He's mentioned his intent to establish a hamburger drive-through without inside service, much like his other operations in Oroville, plus 8 seats for patrons waiting for their takeout orders. However, he's also mentioned the possibility of making the site available to a franchise operation, some branded operation. In the latter case, any new franchisee would need to obtain an occupancy permit and undergo a parking review and a seating review, also get building permits for any tenant improvements and for signage. Because of the site's layout, the proposed drive-through configuration is unique. It's been the subject of much discussion at the staff level and probably some discussion here. Applicant will also be required to obtain a Caltrans encroachment permit. Though the proposed configuration is acceptable to staff, applicant Mendez is here to discuss it if desired by the commission. On November 12th, the DRC reviewed this proposed project and recommends approval.
Thank you. Does the applicant want to come up and make a presentation?
We currently operate drive-throughs in the city already, 2 of them.
Right.
And in terms of the configuration and the queues, and this is obviously next door to Panda and Starbucks. And it's pretty ugly right now. It's a blight, on the city. And we're not happy with it. So this is the largest drive-through we have out of all of our drive-throughs in terms of the queue and turnaround. So I'm kind of confused in terms of when it comes down to saying it's tight, or it's because it's the biggest one we have. It's larger than any of the Starbucks, larger than Panda in terms of the radius on the drives of everything in there. There is one issue there, and that would be the egress in and out.
Yeah.
In terms of, but it was just as busy as the laws around the market when we operated that. We already do have, there is no change to entrance and exit, and it already is, they're not changing at all, they're the same. But we do have, once the development goes on behind this, the road that connects to Feather River, I don't know if it's in their plan that they have, Wes, the copy of the draft, or not the draft, but the title.
Oh, you're saying that you have, the copy of the title's not in the staff report.
Well, and there's shared parking, or shared parking area that, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the La Esmeralda site. The parking next door to it, actually, we have there's a whole nother pathway to connect to that once that happens. We actually have plenty of footage once the pathway goes to Feather River that's gonna get widened for any hotels or whatever goes behind there. All these are gonna have egress out to Feather River.
Okay.
So there is already on it says a common easement for everybody to go out to Feather River. So we're touching that road right now. But right now, that road really is not wide enough. It needs to be wider if you're gonna put a hotel back there. That's in the works, to go back there at this point. So there's plenty of ways to attach to the outside. We'd like it too. But we don't need to right at this point. But once they put that road in, then we will attach to that road. So that's there. But
Let me give a status update on that. The Hampton Inn, which this body approved earlier this year, we have received building plans last week for that, and they are under review. And indeed, the existing drive through there will be widened and sidewalk added and such.
And when they do widen that, that actually winds up, it's already touching our property, that existing widening. And we have retention back there also. We have plenty of ways to attach to that. And for them, they're gonna wanna they're gonna want us to be involved, number one, as a courtesy, but number two is they're gonna defer some of the costs because we'll be having to pay our pro rata share to attach to that. So we would want that too. Other than that, I think the drive, we've thought it out, we've marked it out, we've driven it with trucks, we've done all that stuff to make sure that we don't go in there and have something too tight. And it's plenty, it's good. It's 1.5 times the size of our one right here on the roundabout in terms of radius. So it's much bigger than it looks, I guess, if you say that. It's not tight. And the bigger concern would be is that, are you gonna back up onto Oro Dam, which we all have seen that from Kentucky Fried Chicken to Starbucks continually, Dutch Brothers, all those. We have more queue than any of them. This has got a bigger queue that locks everything through. If you look in, that's in the radius there right now. We have to have 10 cars in the queue just before the window, besides anything backing it up. So it's been thought to look at how do we do this and how can we change it. In addressing we really don't, drive-throughs and restaurants in general are kind of morphing right now. You're not gonna see, we're gonna see most of our stuff is, our drive-throughs, not just because of COVID, but even going forward, that market is turning more to drive-through than anything else. Indoor seating and the quick serve it represents a very minute part of our business. The drive-through represents 90% of your business. So we do want to be people that come in, be able to get food and serve it there, but that's not our emphasis at all. It's a drive-through. And we have to have, this particular one is a very simple menu because it needs to be speedy, needs to be quick, not to be complicated. They got to go in and out, so that's really the concept of what it is. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything.
Any questions of the applicant? Got one over here. Mike?
Mr. Mendez?
Yes.
As you say, to the river, but it goes against the grain of the flow because once you're into the flow, the access is over towards Panda Express, correct?
No, you would actually be able to go out that top corner. The top corner up towards,
Yeah, but once you're in the queue
right.
and you come around,
Well, you won't be able to come out of the queue and to go out. You could actually, when you come out, you'd actually go the other way. That's correct. If you're flowing out,
you're you either have to exit onto Oro Dam
right.
or go back into the queue and exit out.
It's more going to give the people that are coming there to park in the place, that are going to come park and pick up orders, that would give them to be able to go out to access.
Okay, and
Or
Up
the
here?
secondary would be
Yes,
also,
yes.
if you want any vehicles to come in, emergency vehicles, fire, any of that type of stuff, they'd have both ways to come in, both directions.
Correct.
We have fire hydrants actually on the site within 20 feet of the building. So there's not really, and they can reach it from any which way.
Okay, and my second question is, you're also applying for let me see here, a alcohol permit?
Yes.
Correct? Mm-hmm. I know from the past that, Esmeralda Market had a,
Retail liquor license, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, this is
Okay.
not retail, we're not selling to go. It would be just there if you wanted to eat something there and have a drink.
so it's not for the people that are going through the drive-through, it's
No,
only,
that's not, no. It's legal now in California, but no, we're not applying for that, no.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
That would be actually be a separate license that you'd have to apply through, but they're actually doing them, but I think Chipotle has the first one. But that's not what we're asking for, no, sir.
Okay, okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I had a quick question. The parking, you own the lot to the west? So I see the driveway and the parking stalls. in-
Yeah, well, we have a common shared, and here's the clerk station, I don't know if they can see that. This is the lot where La Esmeralda is. This whole section here is a common for both these lots. So this has already been deeded as a common
Okay.
area.
Just the way the plot plan shows, the parking spaces intrude right along there.
Common and shared,
Okay.
Common area
Okay.
parking for both, and then this location.
Okay, and the driveway is also a common?
Shared.
Okay.
Yes, applicant has provided the documentation for that, and we reviewed it. It's my fault we didn't include it in the packet, but it's all been
We've never had
verified.
a issue with enough parking there. Actually, the parking in the back, even when La Esmeralda was very busy, never was an issue. It's more like pretty quick. And our intention I expect that 10% of our business, maybe 20% of our business will be people picking up stuff to go. 90% of it's gonna be drive-through.
I just didn't want to, I wanted to make sure that the area you're using was legal and we didn't approve
Yeah,
you
it's
to
actually
use
in
somebody
the,
else's
it's in
property.
the, it's in the deeds, and that we have common access. We actually have behind, if you look on the map up there, there's a retention pond that is facing there, that's between the end of the driveway and the back lot. With that, back of that thing actually touches that access road right now, and that retention pond is actually not used. All the drainage goes to Oro Dam. That retention pond, if we wanted to at one point, we could actually blow through there and attach that road, but we have plenty of places to attach to that road once they do the widening of that.
All right, thank you.
You got a question, Tammy?
On the second page of the staff report, it says that because most of the traffic will be a drive-through, applicant states he will not be serving alcohol on site.
I think that was incorrect. I think I get the Westing head to correct it. It was not. That was incorrect.
Okay, and what is the difference between type 47, I'm seeing type 47 and type 40?
It's
So,
beer or hard liquor. You have both of them. It's a license we already have that we're placing there.
one for like on-site and one's,
No, we're not, we have to apply separately to do catering. This is just for on-site drinking only. There's no to-go, there's no
Right.
retail, there's no,
Yes, that is incorrect in the staff report. This license will allow him to serve alcohol, beer,
we-
wine, and alcohol on site.
but we only have 4 seats or 8 seats
I think we have a total
inside.
of 8 seats, yeah. So it's very minimal, but we were gonna have to have that base license if we plan on attaching a catering business to that to go out to sites, and we'll attach that catering to that to serve parties, to serve whichever.
So I have another correction as well, Mark, that I haven't discussed with you. In the staff report, we recalculated the parking ratios.
Okay.
And you have up to 36 spaces that you can populate that without adding additional parking.
Okay, good. So, yeah, I think the minimal seating is still fine with us. We're not looking to increase the sit-down. It's primarily gonna be a drive-through. And our 2 locations that currently operate, the one, of course, the school is over here on the roundabout. The school is impacted because we don't have students, during the week anymore, with COVID. But the drive-through has just picked up, has picked up that much more. So it doesn't affect us. And we don't have, on Feather River, we do not have, any sit-down. And of course, COVID has boosted those substantially. So we're used to the traffic.
I have a question of staff then. I assume the design meets, what?
Tammy, did you have another question?
Oh,
I did, but that's okay.
go ahead. I didn't realize you
That's okay.
beat me to the punch.
Oh crap, no, I forgot what I was gonna even say. Okay, so I noticed on page 2 of the resolution, I'm just curious. public convenience necessity would be served by, okay, we're gonna serve this alcohol license for the property identified as, what's 1835 Orodam Boulevard?
I think that's an error.
We will correct that then.
We're trying to sneak another location in there.
Apparently I'm finding all the errors. So, yeah. Okay.
And Wes, the fire department has okayed this turnaround, the radius and everything? It seems short to me.
Yes, they have. And the
wouldn't be
stacking requirement, national stacking requirements are met as well. He's actually made a wider turnaround. I did go and look at the one at, what's the one right next door?
Washington,
No, the
Panda,
Panda,
Starbucks.
Starbucks,
Sonic.
and then Sonic.
Right.
Sonic is a very tight turn. This is much wider than that, and the others are tighter than this
We
as
actually have,
well.
we have the ability to make it even wider in the middle if we wanted to. Once we start laying it out, we'll actually make, that'll be a minimum, but that's all planter in the middle, just add greenery in the middle of it. Carl, and also addressing your fire department was, there's actually hydrants on site already, right in the middle of the site. So there's definitely-
Oh, okay.
Right on the middle of the building.
Didn't show in the plan, I don't think, the fire hydrant.
I think it does on the latest plan, that shows that, yeah. And then the backup, and we modified the backup to make sure that we brought the line down for, so when the cars that are in the existing queue can back up and have plenty of room to back up. We've actually marked it on the, so 19 feet coming behind. So we've done, yeah, we spent a lot of time on the site marking it out, making sure we didn't want to go down that path and have a bottleneck. And we've done a couple drive-throughs now, so we do have, we've seen how it works. And we can correct anything we haven't done right.
Anyone else have a question of,
I got a question.
you do? Yeah.
So if, I'm curious, like, on your egress, my biggest concern is probably the egress off Oro Dam right now. How are the streets gonna be marked? Because the natural progression for traffic on a right-hand turn is to turn, on the right-hand side, and this is, I could see that being problematic with somebody trying to maybe pull straight out, and then a car coming in off Oro Dam, making a right-hand turn. I mean,
It's kind of the same, I agree with you, and that's not a perfect world, but I would agree it's the same thing in Panda, same thing in Starbucks, it's the same in all of them. If you have the same, but we've had that same,
well, when
you
I
know-
turn into Starbucks, I turn in on the right-hand side, and then cars are pulling out on the left, and this
Right.
one's reversed.
well, I'm gonna pull on the right, and they're gonna come out, they're gonna eventually merge to the left, depending on where they're gonna go, but no, I agree with you in terms of but it's been that way and it's worked, we've never had an issue. I've had it for 10 years, never had an accident there.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but I guess, is it gonna be marked all the way out that way to where,
Well, I think we can certainly stipulate that. It might be smart for prudent for any of us to put a little small island thing right in the middle there to make sure we direct them which way they should be going when they come out. I mean, in terms of,
yeah, my biggest concern is just, I automatically, when I'm making a right turn, I'm staying on the right-hand side, even, so, I think you mentioned, all the other sites, though, when I'm turning in right, I'm staying to the right-hand side and not going to the left-hand side. And this is kind of you got a crisscross pattern here.
they're going out, in and out of them, right?
Yeah, it's where, that's my only concern, is that being a hazard with somebody pulling out automatically, and people, it's an automatic reaction for me. I mean, I've been
Well,
to
the only way I
turn
think
into
we
the
would
right.
maybe able to correct it would be to go onto your, I don't know if this come up with.
And maybe it would be better to not have any line at all and have them crisscross out here. I don't know.
Well, we may want to turn, whatever's gonna be, but we may be able to, Wes, you can input or anybody, but maybe we do
So what I thought is a normal turn pattern I would make a right-hand turn right where you're going out.
right.
That's just,
Yeah.
No, most of the traffic is gonna enter on the right-hand side,
yeah.
no doubt.
We got an arrow going out right now, and that's,
Well, I think that's kind of a mistake, so
Our hope is that there will not be any congestion at that point in it, other than the stacking that occurs every afternoon on Oro Dam in front of that driveway.
I think.
But people will crisscross, I think, naturally, as long as
Yeah.
it's not congested.
But
and-
maybe
and they'll-
maybe not having arrows there because it might confuse traffic going out. Because if I have an arrow pointing me out, I'm going to stay to. See, normally when I'm leaving there, I would veer to the right,
Yes.
right, and this contradicts
So
normal
we might
traffic.
want to
better.
stripe it in that direction, so we bring them over, for once they come out of the drive-up window,
Yeah.
I think we almost want to direct them to that.
To go back to
To
the
the right,
right, and then
yes.
maybe have the. I mean, I love the pattern. I like the stacking. I like all of it. This is what bothers me the most right here, to where maybe as soon as they come back out, they still, we got to follow.
We could accomplish that by either striping or by curbing for a certain area, just to get them going in the right direction.
Because I can see it being problematic.
No, I understand what you're saying. I just know I think that the
And it's worked, you're right.
arrows are there kind of look a little off, but it's
I was
actually
eating, and I never had a problem at La Esmeralda's. I mean, I was eating there. I'm great. It was disappointing when they closed, but, the Bulldog took but yeah, I'd never had a problem with her in the past, but just this design, the way it looks on
Well,
paper.
we definitely don't want people crashing, that's for sure. So, I mean, no,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, so I don't
If
know.
you, I mean, in terms of if we need to put signage or we need to put a stop sign there and say, look both ways, coming out of the thing too, I'm all for it. I mean,
Well,
The one over on Feather has the same issue, though, if you noticed on Feather River.
Yeah,
You are coming in on, of course, I don't think they share the same driveway, but it does have signs. It does direct you.
yeah, just by the curb of the, right?
well, and I pull in when I go in on the Feather side, though. I still pull in on the right. I don't pull on the left and drive down the left side.
Yeah,
know
you have the
what I'm saying?
ability, you don't have oncoming traffic
Yeah.
into that direction, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's, I don't know, I just say it's always worked and we never had a problem there, but I think in terms of can we help it with signage and try to help that? I think, yeah.
So maybe there's a condition here, possible condition here, that driveway be left unstriped unless there are concerns or congestion?
I
Is
think
that
if
what
the
you're?
crisscross was in the parking lot somewhere, yeah, but I wouldn't want to see this like Pacific diagram painted on because I
Right.
think it'd be problematic. I think, but I do think if people were able to pattern the traffic in the parking lot,
Maybe if we actually striped it, 30 feet ahead before that's showing them the direction they should flow out.
possibly,
That has
yeah.
that cue, just tells them you're gonna go out, exit this way and incoming this way.
Yeah, that's my only concern is the reverse.
Because I have been to Caltrans already and they have no issues with it too, so we're doing that process right now.
Yeah.
But it's an existing egress that's been there.
Oh, yeah, no, the egress is fine. It's
Yeah.
just this diagram that I'm
Right.
looking at going,
Yeah, the arrows, I didn't catch that part, showing that way going out on the left-hand side, yeah. I think-
yeah, that diagram is what I'm going, whoa, wait a minute here.
Right.
If the pattern, if you can have a normal egress, right and left, then I'm good. But
That actually should be, those things actually should be reversed, actually, on
Yeah.
that plan, yeah.
yeah, it should be crisscrossing somewhere in there. I see you're trying to show the pattern of traffic and
He's-
control
yeah,
the,
I think he's got a crisscross, because the normal flow in there is the
yeah,
first from the
right
right.
now, it would be,
Honestly,
yeah.
I didn't catch that before, but yeah, you're right. So we can correct that and send that back,
Okay.
yeah.
I know I read this earlier, but I failed to remember. What is the stacking accommodations before you would crisscross?
There's the stacking right there.
Yeah.
The stacking actually doesn't start until you get to the edge of the loop
Yeah.
there. So it's towards the rear of the property.
Yeah, you're not gonna stack in front of the parking stalls.
Right.
Not unless it's
In theory.
it's
I mean,
very,
it'd
very
have to be
busy,
great.
yeah.
It'd be- I mean, it's right now, if you look on there, we'd actually take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars before you.
Okay.
No, I like the stacking. I like the,
Yeah.
it's,
I feel that it's.
If it gets more than that, we'll build a 2-story for them to stack on.
yeah, no, it means business is good.
Randy, I don't feel that you would have, you may at lunchtime, maybe, but if you had the crisscross pattern, like you said, 30 feet before you exit, I think you could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was just that diagram, and if you were actually directed to go straight out
Yeah, no,
there,
it wouldn't work. I agree with you.
What's shown on the plan right now, I think Randy brought up is absolutely true. I missed it, but yeah, it shouldn't be showing that there because that's incorrect. Yeah, you turn in from the right, you're always coming down or down, because you don't have
Yeah,
egress to take a left into it.
Yeah,
so
I think that would be, if it was inward into the parking lot somewhere where, I think people would know
I
the
would just have the
progression.
architect change it and get it cleaned up. Because we're gonna have to, of course, pending approval here, we're gonna have to, submit the architectural, we're gonna, dress up the building and bring it up to the 20th century instead of looking old like a block, So we wanna do the cosmetic changes at the same time.
Thanks
and
for
get it
clearing
up.
that up.
I have another question.
Sure.
Sorry.
Okay.
So when I pull out, how far does that middle island come down? I mean, so.
It comes past there. You
So
have to,
you
you'll
have
have to,
to pull out and you have to go that way.
you have to go that way. You
Okay.
can't go, well, some people do, but you can't. You're not supposed to. It's,
Well, we're not
but,
supposed to do it in front of Kentucky Fried Chicken, but they still do it as well.
no,
But
it
there's
come-
no
it-
island out there, so.
yeah, it substantially comes past there, so you
Okay.
do have to, you will have to go right.
There won't, yeah, it won't be an issue.
Ideally, once that whole corner kind of comes to maturation, and the hotels there and all that, a lot of flow I think will be directed out to Feather.
Yeah.
And that'll be a better dumping place for all of it anyway. So the current person that has the property that's next door to Mid Valley Title and that lot in there, they're willing, they're happy to have that all go wider and everybody tie into it. So it's gonna happen, but I think everybody's been waiting for, the catalyst has been the hotel in the back, and then it's before they tear everything back up again. Yeah.
Any other questions of the applicant? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Is there anyone else in the public that wants to address this issue? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and leave it to the planning commissioners to discuss it or make a motion or whatever.
Mr. Chairperson, just for the record, I did not receive any written communication on this item.
I didn't understand that one.
I'm just stating for the record that we didn't receive any written communication for this
Okay,
item.
Thank you. Okay, what do we want to do? I really don't have a problem with the reverse exit and entrance if there's proper signage and a barrier of some kind so that when people drive up there, they see by signage and the arrows that where you go. So personally, I've been in those situations before and I've never had a problem, but
I think Randy brought up a good point. I just think we need to move it back so that they have the ability to make that decision. To know that somebody's going to come, because you could get to the point where people are coming in, person's going out, they think they're going straight out, so it's something that has to be addressed.
okay, I'm waiting for a motion.
Okay, I will start the motion. I will make a motion to adopt the UP 20-08 Revolution for Esmeralda Market.
Got a motion, do I hear a second?
A use permit and an alcohol sales. Yeah, I just said that. I 450 Oroville Boulevard is the wrong address?
At the bottom of page 2 of the resolution, we will correct that before it's signed, if approved.
Okay, we have a motion and second. You want to set up the voting thing?
Sorry. Motion carries with 6 yeses and 0 nos.
Nobody wants to change their vote? Nobody did.
Nope.
I'd have to get up.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Randy, sorry to see you go.
I'll be around.
So if we need it, I'll have the architect change that ingress and push it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll open the public hearing for item 2, minor use permit 20-9 for charter, the Stream Charter. I keep saying it backwards. Stream Charter School. Staff?
Yes, thank you. Stream Charter School, which stands for, oh boy,
Technology, engineering, math, and reading. Reading, thank you.
yeah, science, technology, reading, engineering, and math. Charter School has been operating at the Feather River Village Shopping Center for quite some time, in which it's located. It is now planning to expand. It is purchasing that shopping center, in the process of that, and so it will be owning the center along with all of its tenants, including the Subway and the massage parlor and the Early Bird Donut Shop and several offices. Except for the zoning of the expansion parcel to the back, this project would have been approved by right. It now requires a use permit because of the zoning of the property. The site plan as proposed includes fencing off the facility and limiting free vehicle travel at the rear of the center. We'd like to note that the staff report mentions eliminating the new access on 7th Street, which is incorrect since this staff report was written. After discussions with the city engineer, applicant will be keeping that access out to 7th Avenue, but may leave it as gravel instead of paving it all the way. They will be improving the driveway entrance on 7th for that driveway. Nick Trover, applicant, is here to answer any questions you might have and perhaps to make a short presentation. The Development Review Committee has recommended approval of this project.
Any questions of staff? I have one. Wes, did Public Works look at this about any concern about pulling gravel out onto 7th Avenue? Usually you have some paving, 20 feet of paving or something.
There will be paving, yes, at 7th Avenue before it's gravelled.
Gravel will not go out to the
Correct.
right of way.
Correct.
Okay.
I have a question.
Question of staff, Tammy?
You said it was changed, this driveway? Is that what I understood?
Yeah, the staff report mentions that the applicant discussed with us the possibility of eliminating that driveway, but they are not going to eliminate, they're going to leave it, going to build it in there.
Are you talking the driveway to the south, Wes?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, because the other one's already paved,
yes.
correct.
Yeah, the one that exits to 7th Avenue.
They both exit 7th
I
Avenue.
mean, the south one, the new one.
South,
Yeah.
south, yeah, that's what I
That's how
said.
you get to those buildings for fire.
Nick can clarify any questions you might have and may even correct me there. So.
Okay, no more questions of staff?
No.
Applicant?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, as Wes mentioned, we'd originally talked about having a road going down. We decided at one point to try to eliminate that to save money for our budget, but after reviewing the budget and doing some more planning, I think we can actually pave that as well instead of doing gravel. So I know everybody would prefer to have that pavement, including us, and I think our budget will allow it, so I'm almost certain that we'll end up having that paved. And then the project in total is 6 classroom buildings on the left side of the drawing. Then we've got the gymnasium, a future addition that will include 4 more classrooms, a sports field, 2 basketball courts, and then an agricultural area that the school will use in the future. We also have a connection for ADA pathway from the new development to Oro Dam Boulevard. And as Wes mentioned, we'll be fencing off part of the back area or between the new development and the existing Feather River Village. That will be open in the mornings for drop-offs, but then closed off to keep students in the school area and keep other people from coming in, keeping it a fenced, secured area. So that's kind of the basics of the project. What questions can I help answer?
I'm impressed that, that you bought the, whole unit there. Just don't get rid of early bird donuts.
I know everybody keeps saying, don't get rid of the donut shop. Oh, that's another thing. We don't have any plans to kick anybody. Yeah, we don't have any plans to kick any tenants out of the building. If they don't decide to renew their leases, we may take over more space in the facility, but there's no plans to try to forcefully remove anybody out of the facility.
It's a great plan. I mean, you guys needed this for a long, long time.
Yeah, they'll definitely enjoy the extra footage.
Yeah, I think, and I'm a little biased here, but every one of my grandkids have been through streams, so it's been a great school. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions of the applicant? How many students
I don't remember.
graduated last year? I mean, what's your graduation rate?
I can't name that off the top of my head, I'm sorry. I know the total student count is in the staff report, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
So you don't know how many graduated last year?
I'm the construction manager, not the,
Oh.
not the
And you
administration.
didn't,
They only go up to 8th grade, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's one class for each grade, and I believe it's about 30 students per class.
Correct. I think the total students is about 400, but don't quote me on that number. Again, it would be in the staff report. I just can't recall what it is off the top of my head. I work with several charter schools, so they all get jumbled
What I
up.
was trying to get at, but you can't answer, was, if you have 80 students attend, do all of them go all the way through and graduate, or do they stop and get out of,
My understanding is the
get a lot of that in high school?
The vast majority of students, to my understanding, go through the entire program. They've got a huge waiting list currently. I think it's over 500 students or something. It's over their entire enrollment is what the waiting list is. So that's one of the reasons for the expansion, is to try to help some of those students join into the school because the waiting list is so long. So the students don't typically leave the school unless they're moving or there's some other reason to exit the
yeah,
program.
I agree with him. Once the kids get into stream, and like you said, there is a waiting list, they stay in till 8th grade and then move on to high school. It's, I mean, I've seen it for, 10 years, maybe longer.
We also, I think, are one of the highest, if not the highest achieving charter schools in the greater Oroville area. Schools or charter schools or any of the schools.
Yeah.
We're significantly
Great.
above the requirement of the state.
Any other questions?
Is Caltrans seen this plan?
I would assume that it's been distributed through the city process, but I don't know. We're not doing anything, though, on the Oro Dam
Yeah,
entry.
162, I know.
Yeah.
I realize that, but drop-offs and pickups are a nightmare there. Believe me,
So-
I've been through it.
Yeah, Wes and I were discussing that earlier with what the traffic flow may be. And depending on what development goes on in the area as well, we may change how parents are, told to drop off their students. So maybe we only do it off of 7th Avenue or something to that effect. Because we would have a convenient way to drop students off with this new addition.
Yeah, because a lot of them try to come in off of Oro Dam into the facility, and it's just, it's pretty congested there from 7:30 to 8, right?
Certainly, yeah.
But, if you had another access like you show here on south of 7th, I mean, that gives them another option to maybe go down 5th, come back up, and get into that. But, no, this is great.
Thank you.
Well, isn't that a pathway that shows on the plan for people to drop off and walk into the school? Isn't
The
that what-
pathway is just a ADA access to show that there's if you've got a wheelchair to get out there, you can walk wherever you want on the property, but just for somebody that has, disabilities, that's the pathway that they would take to get out to Oro Dam Boulevard for connection purposes.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant? Okay, we'll close the public hearing and
Thank you.
turn it over to commissioners. Anybody want to discuss it or talk about it?
Do we have a curfew for time, like in the city limits? I know it's not in a residential area, so, but, I mean, is it like all noise and games and parties have to stop at 10 or 11? Well, that's what I meant. What time does that end?
10 PM, 7 AM.
So how do they do that at the football games at like Harrison Stadium? At 10 o'clock, they don't turn it off? Huh? Weekends have a, okay. I just noticed it, like here it said 10 or 11, so if they do have like a weekend game, they could still finish the game. Okay.
There isn't much residential around that area.
That's what I just said earlier, yeah, there's just no residential. I mean, a McDonald's stays up that, and they're right next door. Yeah.
No, there's no discussion. I'll wait for a motion.
I'll move. We adopt I guess the class 3-2 categorical exemption for the infill development project. Adopt recommended findings for use permit UP 20-09. Approve use permit 20-09 and adopt resolution P 2020-23.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Let's vote.
Gonna make him work for it.
Anybody want to make a change? Seeing none?
Motion carries with 6 yeses and 0 nos.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I'll have a better chance now to get my kid in. Not be on the waiting list. Yeah, they're good.
Now, according to what I read here, I goofed up last time and didn't leave any time for staff to update us on anything, and this time there is no,
Because this is a special meeting.
it says adjourn the meeting is the next item.
Because it's a special
But
meeting.
I'm curious
we
as
have to do it
if we have any updates on, like you're talking about the hotel and,
It's a special meeting.
huh?
It's a special meeting.
It's not required, but it is voluntarily, if you want to ask for reports, you can do that, yeah. And you're asking for a report?
Yes.
Okay. As mentioned earlier, last week, we received a very large packet for the Hampton Inn Hotel, the civil plans and the building plans, and they are currently under review. The zoning code changes that this body approved earlier went before the city council on Tuesday, 2 days ago. That's the car wash, the personal services, low impact, the mini storage, and the housing changes that you approved here, recommended approval. The first reading got accomplished Tuesday, and the second reading will be upcoming, and then the ordinance will be changed. Ruddy Creek is scheduled to go before the city council on December 15th. The next DRC meeting will be on December 10th, next Thursday, I'm sorry, at 1:30. The likely projects there are a digital billboard, which is a conversion of an existing billboard, a large carport, oversized carport on Canyon Highlands, and a review of some changes to the 711 Montgomery Veterans Housing Project, a couple of changes to the Riverbend Apartments on Nelson and Table Mountain. We're bringing those just for DRC review to vet them. And that's all that's headed. Oh, McGuire Suites, which used to be the Western Motor Lodge at 2255 Bird Street has been a enforcement nightmare for many, many years. The owner has hired Table Mountain Realty, property management, and they are working very hard and very well and making tremendous improvements there. So we have a master list of improvements that are needed, and we'll also be collecting some back TOT tax as well. That is a pending use permit, and once the enforcement actions and the cleanup reaches a certain point, we'll be bringing that use permit to you for review and discussion.
How did the meeting go? Everybody know it? Anybody watch that?
To what?
Huh?
To what?
Item that we approved and
Oh, the sign code? Don can speak to the sign code, why it didn't occur at the meeting.
At the 11th hour, we received a correspondence from legal counsel with the California Sign Association expressing concern over some of the changes that were made to the sign code. So our city attorney recommended that we pull the sign code staff report, make some changes, and then take it back to council on December 15th. Yes. So.
I wasn't sure everybody knew that.
Yeah. So that was.
Something serious?
Nothing serious. They make mention of an inventory of illegal and abandoned signs prior to implementing the sign code ordinance. And then there's a series of other recommendations. So our city attorney will be working with us to make those changes if he feels that they're appropriate, and then we'll return to council on the 15th.
That'll go direct to council.
Direct to council. Mm-hmm. So, but we will update you on what those changes will be. Mm-hmm. So,
That's why I wanted that. Anyway.
nope, thank you. That was one of my items to discuss anyways.
Well, there's no discussion.
So, and my last item to report is that the zoning code changes to the city council last Tuesday night were presented by Connor, our intern, and he did a very good job and received compliments.
I had a quick.
Hey, Wes, is there, I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah,
He's leaving, right?
I am. Just me. Just me. This is my last meeting. Yes.
For you?
For me, I know. 12,
You're eating one.
12 and a half years. Yeah. Yeah, and no, they got them for me. Thank you guys. It's been an honor. 12 and a half years.
Yeah.
It's been a
Thanks,
long time.
Randy.
Thank you.
All right, we're adjourned.
One more question. The truck stop, is that moving forward?
Yes, the Mavericks truck stop is moving forward. We are in discussions with Caltrans about getting their final encroachment permit to build that driveway. But otherwise, we're anticipating construction to start in January. The billboard's already been taken down, and there have been some preliminary site work there. But you'll see a lot of activity, hopefully in January.
Awesome.
If there is nothing else, let's go home.
All right.